Well, I'm just coming from running. Yeah, I'm very thankful for the health, for the springtime to come, and the peace. Um, I recently was able to join the archery club nearby. I also tried to go to Wing Chun, Chinese Kung Fu, but it turned out that right now I don't have the time to do this, but archery is just perfect because it's really nearby and it is very nice there because the people are cool. I'm getting some good contact to people, and archery of course is very nice. And once I have some time alone in the nature with the bow, you can get an idea of what I'm doing. I'm also happy that the archery still works very well. I have new arrows and I'm getting tight groups, which means the aiming is good and the bow, everything still works. You know, when you start doing this, it's like going down a rabbit hole. And when you start archery and when you have talent, you will start to single out every or you try to eliminate all potential for error, which means you need to educate yourself a lot in forums and read 1,000 different opinions and filter out what works for you and learn about the spine of arrows, the weight of the tips, how many grains, about many things, about anchor points, how to draw, um, and many more things, many more things that all affect ultimately the arrow flight. And you want that the arrow does what you imagine. So archery is very good for developing your intuition because the feeling is just very nice when you look at the target, you draw, and you release the arrow and it just magically flies exactly where you're staring at. Before I did archery, I had a visualization about shooting arrows, and I still do this. Now I can even visualize it better because I'm actually doing it. So it's a good visualization. The one that I did was a little bit different because I visualized an arrow that flies like an infinite trajectory, and people always narrate, oh, he's aiming for this, but then the arrow flies past the target or through the target and still flies on, and then they say, oh, no, now he's aiming for this, and it goes on forever. It reminds me of a movie, Valhalla Rising, my favorite movie. It shows what happens when a man stops talking and just flies like an arrow, and then other voices will narrate what he's doing. People need the narration, but only the man knows where he goes and why he goes. Yeah, I also shared on my channel this interesting video from Essential Salts, I think is the name, about Nietzsche. Nietzsche, who points out the errors of thinking, that just because we have this causal chain in our heads of cause and effect as a linear chain. We also see our universe going from low entropy to high entropy, from the Big Bang to the expansion in space. There's different theories about a big crunch, a big stretch, and whatnot, a big bounce. And another amazing thing is that the sunlight puts the sun flies through space. The planets circle it and follow up. We are moving towards Andromeda Galaxy, and the sun bathes the Earth in a stream of low entropy light. And life itself breaks down the low entropy light in high entropy light, which means we extract this divine low entropy order from this light, breaking it down and living from it. And the Earth then reflects back into space the low entropy light, so that there is equilibrium, because otherwise we would get grilled by the sun. So we take in low entropy energy and we give out high entropy light. Yeah. So that's just that, right? And I am thankful for my pride. My pride is that I never missed one single day at work for the dysfunctional happenings in my family that I was that I left. I did not miss out a single day at work because of that, just because externally regulating dysfunctional people have been reintegrated into society through me. I did not let this sickness affect me in a way that I got dysfunctional as well. I did not allow this to happen. I want to be a role model for my children. This is my pride. I have built a lot of gardens and structures, ways, places, cut hedges and trees. So in a huge radius of literally 100 kilometers, no matter where I go, there's always a place where I built something, whether it's a huge a complex of buildings where we did the ways, the whole garden, everything, all the soil, everything planted, the everything. Month of work, literally everything outside, whether it's just a tree that we cut, a hedge, a garden that we did. There's always something where I was involved. I always contributed to society and still do. Now I'm doing a different job. And I'm thankful for the strength and the health and the energy and the people who supported me. My father and my mother, they will not live forever, but I will push on as long as I can and as long as God is willing. Yeah. Um, I think a naive state of being is the best state, but it's inevitable that we lose this state. And this means ultimately growing up. You need to lose your naive state and innocence, but of course I don't mean this in a sexual way. No. I mean it in a way of a confrontation with evil. But when I say evil, this is slave moral. I mean with badness, with sickness, with hate, with envy, with insane people, delusional people. And this is no joke. It hurts to be exposed to this. But yeah, the thing is, the only difference between the naive state and the individuating state, the growing up state, is, in my case, a raised awareness. So I keep my core and what I was because it was all right. But I have to add awareness to it, and it's harder to be who you are when you're aware of it. And you have to add the shadow sides. Otherwise, you attract the part that is repressed in yourself. So if you're too good, you get the worst of the worst around you. Therefore, you have to get a little bit grown up, a little bit selfish, a little bit aggressive, a little bit straight, and so on. Not too good, there's a problem with empathy, compassion. Nobody told me that this is meant only for my kids. It's not meant for grown-up babies. It's not meant for dependents. It's not meant for... I'm not talking about this. It's my past. I have nothing to do with this. I'm not connected to this. I paid the price to get away from this. Yeah, real, God knows. Yazi. And there's still confusion in the world. Everybody is polarized. Everybody thinks in these polarized terms, in these extreme terms. Just because you do only good things, you're not a pro-social narcissist. Just because you have narcissistic defensive mechanisms, just because narcissists or psychopaths are masters at triggering these defenses, doesn't mean you are that. You're more than that. You're, anyway, dude.